Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another very exciting Star Wars video. It is I coming at you once again, your favourite galactic hostess, Star Wars Meg. And today is certainly a special one. Tony Gilroy just gave Andor fans such a treat, and I'm here to cover all of it. In collaboration with some of the very talented folks who worked on the show, Lucasfilm just released an Andor fan magazine, a fanzine if you will, in the visual language of revolutionary propaganda, drawing influence from the French Resistance, Soviet constructivism, and early 20th century political art. If you're a fellow mega fan of Andor, you're in for such a treat. I was able to get my hands on a copy, and we're going to go through all of it. It is so mind-blowing. The amount of detail that went into creating every little facet of this incredible series. We have new stills from the season, some which were taken from alternate angles to the final cut, so we've never actually seen these before. Not to mention, in-universe posters like this. These were commissioned to be canon, so they're not just created after the fact to be on t-shirts or just to sell as fan merch. These exist in the context of Andor Season 2, in the story itself. Like I said, they're using French to evoke resistance vibes, and this is rebel propaganda after Mon Mothma's speech. It says Mon, vérité, truth. And keep in mind, French was also the inspiration for the Gorman language. And speaking of them, this poster right here is my favourite. The KX unit stomping all over Gorman during the horrific massacre. They're gigantic in this beautiful piece of art, symbolising the oppression and tyranny of Palpatine's empire. And trying to make a plea to the galaxy, trying to show them why they matter, it says Save Our Silk. A resource from the Gorman spiders, which matters a great deal to a lot of people in the galaxy, notably Coruscant's elite. So in a way it's saying if you don't care about our people, at least care about the clothes on your back, which come from our hard work, our spiders and our silk. And you know a show is good when you're still fangirling over a simple poster like this, but it is gorgeous, and I love that Lucasfilm clarified this is canon, this is in-universe. For so many other shows, like even The Mandalorian, they create so much commissioned art, but most of it is just for merch, and isn't actually meant to be taken seriously. Well, these ones are. And in another poster we see how the Gorman language is written. If you pay attention, you do see it in the background a few times in Season 2, but this has to be the clearest example of the Gorman language written to date. It looks almost like elegant calligraphy, and attached to it are the official lyrics of We Are the Ghor, the official Gorman anthem chanted just before the massacre took place. On the left-hand side you have the English, the Galactic Basic, and on the right, if you've got a good French accent, if you want to give it a go, you have the words in Ghor. Alright, if you insist, I'll read you a couple of lines. So the first line is, raise your eyes to homeland skies, we are the Ghor. Ong du mes va lavglej, gambol du Ghor. Tras pu fland tem grok Hollande, gambol du Ghor. And that second bit is, breathe the air and know you're there, we are the Ghor. I mean, so highly detailed, they literally created an entire culture from scratch. One Easter egg Lucasfilm is especially proud of is Darth Maul's face on Gorman, on a piece of wall art on a spider. And the fanzine also reveals that Tony Gilroy worked with Michael Wilkinson to create the Gorman outfits. They look very classy, but do you know how much prep and how much planning went into it? It says this. Tony suggested, wouldn't it be great if there was a sort of signature look for Gorman? That's like the Gorman trench coat. It's what everyone sees when they're hustling down the street. It's the sort of thing that if you had to travel to Gorman, then you went back home, people would say, oh my gosh, is that a Gorman trench coat? Well, the effect on fans definitely worked. Compared to other outfits and aesthetics we've seen in the galaxy far, far away, the Gorman look is certainly distinctive. I think one of the most daring things they did, and I've spoken about this once before, is they made the Gormans human. When the Gormans were first mentioned, not just in Star Wars Rebels, but even back in the 90s, I think Star Wars fans imagined the Gormans as an alien race, just based on the way they were described. And if you're still not impressed, the fanzine includes another bit of canon time material, this time an interview with K2SO on Yavin, a rebel droid maintenance check, a psychological evaluation. Like I said, this counts. So the maintenance evaluation goes like this. What is your name? K2SO. What is your role in the Rebel Alliance? And his response, I'm a reprogrammed enforcer droid, serving under Cassian Andor and the Rebel Alliance. Next question. Are you loyal to the Rebel cause? I am loyal to Cassian. How do we know you won't betray us? I will only betray you if Cassian orders me to, so take it up with Cassian. Do you have any prior experience with the Empire that should concern us? And this is them testing him about the Gorman massacre, and he replies with, I do not know what concerns you. I have carried out many Imperial directives prior to my reprogramming. Killing, maiming, kidnapping, arson, telemarketing. My orders were usually intended to do harm to the rebel cause. Is that what you mean? And then they ask him, are these questions making you angry? No, your breath is. Is getting angry something that might cause you to hurt someone? And in classic Alan Tudyk fashion, and by the way he's the one who wrote this, he says, would force-feeding you a mint be considered harmful? We're nearly at the end. Next question. What is your relationship with Cassian Andor? He and I are partners, although he outranks me, so our partnership is not equal. But the inequality is not such that I'm a sidekick. I will not be taken for a ride. Do you or Cassian owe each other any money? Well, he believes I owe him money and I believe he owes me money, so he owes me money. This is brilliant. He is so sassy. And as we know, the money thing does relate back to the fact they gamble together with Melshi. And the final question, any ideas about the location of the rebel base? If I told you, I would have to kill you. Do you still want to know? And I'm telling you guys, I know people want a Saw Gerrera spin-off or a Kleya spin-off, but how about a K2SO spin-off? He's hilarious. The fanzine also gives us a new look at Gorman pets. Take a look at this guy. I had completely forgotten these were even in the show. And lastly, my dear friends, and this is probably the biggest reveal of all, so congratulations if you made it this far, Tony Gilroy's pitch for Season 2, just a couple of months after the first season aired, December 2022. Now let's cover the important bits, just the meat and potatoes. A quick summary of the next/last 12 episodes. Think of it as a two-part novel, and he knew from the get-go how things were going to turn out. The romantic subplots, Cassian, Bix, all leading up to the Death Star, and the information about Galen Erso that Kleya relays to the rebels. Tony Gilroy knew exactly where he was going with this, and he also writes, Cyril will die on Gorman. He'll be celebrated as a martyr. The Gorman massacre is Mon Mothma's canonical red line. It's this event that prompts her stand in the Senate chamber. She will denounce the Emperor and be forced to flee. The final episode of block number 3 will take place on Coruscant after the massacre. Bail Organa will orchestrate the politics to get Mon to the podium. And amazingly, every story beat from the original draft made it to the final script and the final version we saw on Disney+. That is extremely rare. The opposite happened with The Acolyte. There have been rumblings that the original version of Leslie Headland's script looks nothing like the final version. She wanted to do things that Lucasfilm said no to. One day, I would love if the script leaked, just to see the difference. I bet you it's immense. But this fanzine is incredible, and is part of Andor's Emmy submission. Here are some new comments from Tony talking about the important message of the show. Rebellion isn't Tony logistics, it's sacrifice. Andor is about what happens when normal people, merchants, daughters, lovers, spies, become part of something bigger. Amazing stuff. Share your thoughts in the comments down below, my dear friends. Please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and may the Force be with you, always.